the Dolphins make the right decision by drafting Tua over Justin Herbert?
All right. I know we're gonna have a bunch of Dolphins fans in the comments. They're gonna dick ride for Tua, but you have to admit, if you had Justin Herbert right now, y'all would be a better team. Y'all would be a better team. Can you imagine Herbert throwing 70-yard bombs to fucking Waddle or Hill? Like I Tua has played well. He has done his job. He's done what he's asked. But it is clear that he is a systems quarterback. And Mike McDaniel knows that, and he's playing to his strengths. And he's put a system in to where Tua can be successful. I'm not taking that away from him. Tua's been a very successful quarterback. But come on. If you insert Herbert in there, you immediately get better. You don't have as many limitations to what you can do. And honest to God, I am fucking glad that they drafted Tua. I am so glad he is a quarterback in Miami and not Justin Herbert. Because I mean, this this division would be crazy if he was there. I would have nightmares thinking about Waddle, Hill, and Herbert, and then Achan with all his speed. It would be a disaster. So I mean, you can say Tua's been a little bit more consistent. He's been in the playoffs. Yeah, he's had a better coach. He's had a better team. I mean, where there can be denied. Brandon Staley is awful. I mean, he. I'm not saying he'll never be a good coach, but his first go around wasn't good. Let's just be honest. Talent wise, the Chargers have talent. It's just they don't
Abundance of
produce.
talent.
Yeah, they just don't produce. Austin Eckler definitely took a step back this year. Keenan Allen, he's still Keenan Allen, but Mike Will, again, hurt season, gone. What was that, week 4 or something like that? You got the kid they
That was
drafted
the
in the
best
first
4 weeks.
round.
So whoever had him, that was
Yeah.
probably the best 4 weeks you've ever experienced.
You got the kid you drafted in the first round. Hopefully he bounces back, but as of right now, he looks like he's Butterfingers. like, so it's just I get it. There's an argument to be made that Tua's had a better career as of right now, which I'll admit he has. But if we're going back in time and we're going to do that draft over, I guarantee that GM is picking Justin Herbert over Tua 10 times out of 10, and it's not even close. That's my opinion.
Carol, what you think about this?
I kind of agree with Howard. I mean, with what we know now, I mean, going back to that draft, I mean, talent wise, as a player, talent wise, yes. The limitations to Tua and to Herbert, it's a huge gap because I don't even think Herbert's even hit his ceiling yet. He's just so much room for growth. We have yet to see what he can do with a coach that can unlock him. As Mike McDaniel has unlocked Tua and put him in the best position to be successful on the Miami Dolphins with his limitations and with his skill set. And it's the same thing in San Francisco. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, if you put Herbert on the Niners, what could they possibly do? But I mean, really, who cares? Because they're doing it with what they've got. Like in Miami, Tua is the perfect quarterback for the system that they have because he makes the right throws. He hits the guys when they're supposed to. Yes, he has limitations, but you have uber athletic and uber speedy receivers to where you don't need him to throw a 70-yard bomb to get it 70 yards down the field. You only need him to throw it maybe 10 or 12 yards and they'll do the rest. So we can't fault him for what's been put around him to help him succeed because, like we say, the receiver stats are a two-way street. Those stats count for the quarterback too, regardless if he takes it 90 yards after the catch. That's 90 passing yards. So I think Tua is the perfect quarterback for the Dolphins right now. Obviously, yes, you would rather have a Lamborghini than have a Maserati, but it's not that big of a drop off if you get what I'm saying in
So,
this in the productivity of their offense.
so let me
But I will before you say this, I just wanted to say one thing too, right? Also, there isn't a big drop off in the talent on this team on offense on the Miami that they have in San Diego or Los Angeles as well. You get what I'm saying? And we've seen Herbert with this same squad for years now. He's had Keenan, he's had Mike for extended times during the season. Yes, he gets hurt. He's had the Austin Eckler's. He's had the expensive offensive line. He's had the expensive defense. He's had similarly, maybe the great value version of everything that they have in Miami, and he has yet to elevate them. So I think that's what gives Tua the leg up on Herbert in these discussions because though, yes, there's a lot of heavy lifting doing by the position players, but Tua is still a part of that ecosystem that is making them successful as well. We can't discredit him either. He's still elevating his game while the players are elevating him, and it's equaling team success, which isn't happening in Los Angeles. You could chalk it up to coaching, you could chalk it up to injuries, whatever you want, or like that. But there's been times when the Chargers have had a clean bill of health for some of their best players, and they haven't even made the playoffs as well. So there's no given that Herbert shows up and they just become this exponentially better team, as well. We don't know that.
So
It's hard to deny what we see from Herbert with his talent. So it's
let me ask you though: would you rather have talent or a winner?
A winner. That's
Okay,
what
so
you're playing for.
if you say you would rather have a winner, how can you say you'd rather have Herbert over? I mean, you'd rather have Herbert over too
because I feel like Herbert in the right situation can be a winner.
But the talent is there. You're telling me that okay, Austin Eckler might have took a step back this year, but Austin Eckler had 3 years before this where Austin Eckler was down there the best running back in the league.
That's what I'm saying. Touchdown machine, everything. They've been clicking on all cylinders.
You tell me. Go nowhere. You're telling me, and then this is the thing. You're also telling me that Keenan been top 10 at worst wide receiver in the league. They got a bunch of other talent. All right, Mike Williams don't stay healthy, but Josh Palmer seemed like he's a decent wide receiver in the league. They've been able to make it happen they got decent tight ends. They got everything. Then on the defensive side, what have they had? They got Ashanti Samuel Jr., who is a nice corner in the league. He's a decent corner in the league. They had Khalil Mack at one. They had Khalil Mack. They got they went and got J.C. Jackson at one point. And this team constantly underperforms. So it's not like from a lack of talent that this team is like, it's not like, oh, the one team got more talent and the other don't. Chargers has just as much talent as Miami does. And honestly, a lot of Tua's talent had came this year. I'm talking more defensive side of the ball. So when we're looking at it in the sense of did Miami make a mistake? No, Miami did not make a mistake. Okay, at the end of the day, you're going to look at it like, oh, the number is going to be way more crazy, all that stuff. But who cares? Matt Ryan threw for over 50,000 yards. But what did it equate to? And that's what we're going to end up. It could be the case that we end up looking at Herbert that same way. He gonna throw over 50,000 yards, have all the arm talent in the world. But what does it equate to?
I mean, you could really, I get where you're going with this. You could make the argument with the Brady and Rodgers thing, right? Talent wise, you could make the argument that Rodgers is more talented than Brady, but what did it equate to? One Super Bowl compared to Brady's a billion. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So as far as success goes, and what's crazy is they play in the same conference too. As far as successful, Tua can have way more success, and Herbert could be as talented as he wants to be and go nowhere. I get what you're saying. The question was, did they make a mistake? I said I don't think they made a mistake. In hindsight, though, if he can unlock Tua where he's at with his inefficiencies, because we're not going to sit here and lie like he doesn't have some deficiencies with his throwing mechanics and his ability to move the ball down the field sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Imagine what he could do with somebody like a Justin Herbert, a more talented quarterback. You know what I'm saying?
But this is the thing. I don't even think it's necessarily a situation of trying to unlock Tua. I just feel like, Flores was a defensive guy, and what he's looking at is he's not thinking of, oh, Tua's left-handed, so most of the plays need to go this way instead of running this way. It's a basic thing because Tua's not going to be able to switch his hips most of the time to be able to throw it to the right side, perfectly. You know what I mean?
I feel what you're saying, yeah.
So, I just feel like it's more in the situation of, just thinking of being more creative with the offense. At the end of the day, if you're telling me that the talent is similar, you could say Tyreek, all this stuff, speedsters. Yes, I understand. If Herbert was there, he'd be able to hit them on 70-yard bombs, all this stuff. But that's not necessarily what you need all the time. You need somebody just to be methodical and get it downfield. And at the end of the day, when I'm looking at Tua as he's doing that. Right now, he's leading the league in yards, and we could say it's yak, whatever. But like you said earlier, somebody got to get them the ball. Somebody got to get them the ball in space. Because even if you're throwing it in tightly contested and they're making these catches, if they ain't got no space to operate, they're going to get tackled right then and there.
They can't throw the ball to themselves. I mean, I'm pretty sure that if they wanted to, they could, but they can't throw the ball to themselves. So you got
Yeah.
to give them some credit. Credits were due. But honestly, looking at Miami now, I mean, it's a win-win situation. You take Herbert with this squad, you're going to be successful. You took Tua with a coach like Mike McDaniel, he's going to make you successful. Or like that. I think the Chargers have to be looking at themselves as though like, what are we doing with this super talented quarterback that teams are literally killing themselves to come across, and we can't even make the playoffs. We're spending all this money on this team, and we're not even making the playoffs. We're not even being competitive in our own division either. You get what I'm saying?
And Herbert not a beacon of health either. Like, yeah, Tua's had his troubles with concussions, all that stuff. But
I was gonna say.
at least with that, no. But like, look at it. At least with that, all right, he gets slammed down by bigger guys. Things are happening, whatever. With Herbert, it's always some type of freak accident
Yeah,
every single
it's like the
year.
unfortunate stuff. Like he's throwing a pass and it hits someone's helmet, and he
Yeah,
breaks his finger on his throwing hand. Like
every single year, it's always something unfortunate that takes him out for extended periods of time. I mean, he played through a lot of things, but it's a constant thing of unfortunate things that happen to him. A concussion, anybody can get a concussion. That's just a part of the game of football.